Hello and welcome to the channel. So this is my Lexmoto LX08. I got this bike about a week ago now, but I've only just passed my CBT on Sunday, so today's Thursday, and I've basically not been off this bike since passing my CBT, to be honest with you. I absolutely love it. It's so much fun and I'm just enjoying zipping around on it. And yeah, I know it's not a 1000cc bike, but I really enjoy it. Now this is my first bike, so maybe some of that excitement is the feeling of being on a bike, because obviously it's new to me, so maybe some of it is that. But I think objectively, riding around on this is just a fun experience. I mean, you can see all of the mud that I've got on it already. I really need to take it for a wash. It needs sorting out sort of cosmetically, so I got this bike for really cheap, so it cost me £500, and it is only done, wait for it to, 162.9 miles. Now whether that's accurate or not, because apparently with these, if you hit a bump hard enough, it can actually reset the mileage computer. So whether that's actually the case, I think it may be, because it's a 2025 plate, and yeah, I really don't think it's been thrashed around too much, and I got a really good price on it so far. Touch wood, obviously, who knows, it might just blow up tomorrow. But one of the reasons I got it so cheap is you can see this piece of plastic here was missing, so it had come out. Luckily the old owner kept hold of that, so I've glued it back in, and it seems okay. I mean, it's a little bit of a mess, and eventually I might actually clean that up. And then this here, I mean, there's a bit of mud, so it makes it look worse, but you can see the scrape all along here. So I think the bike's been dropped on this side, because that's actually a sticker, I think, so that will come off. But that is a scrape there, and then all of this is scraped and here as well. But I honestly don't care about that. I'm just really enjoying the bike, getting around town, and yeah, just zipping about on it. So here are your controls on the bike. So there's 3 speed modes. To be honest with you, I stay in mode 3. I'm only really using it just for zipping around and stuff. I've not done any really long journeys, so if I did, I'd probably go in mode 1 just to save a little bit of the battery. We'll go in each mode shortly and do a top speed run on each one. But there's the driving modes, light switch there, so I've turned the lights on, and if you have a look, it's got the headlight there. Looks really smart. It's a really effective headlight as well. I mean, it's summer here in the UK, so it's not actually, I've not been out on it when it's been really dark, but it seems quite effective so far. And then there is the rear light as well. And then, in fact, let's carry on with this. This is your sort of kill switch. So on a usual normal bike, well, a non-electric bike, you press and hold that as a start button. This, you press and hold it. Well, I suppose it is a start button, it just doesn't fire the engine up. Well, I suppose it does, but it's the electric engine. Anyway, you know what that means. And then I put this mirror under here. So the reason for that is the mirrors were in these holes here, but they were really quite tall, and I like to get this in and out. I've got a van, and I want it in and out the van fairly regularly, and with those mirrors, it made it a lot harder. So I've taken those mirrors out, and I've got this one, which isn't ideal, but for my circumstances, being in and out the van is perfect. Then on the right hand side here, obviously the ignition barrel. So this is the off position, and then if you click that to the left, that'll open the seat. Now obviously there's no storage under the seat, because that is where the batteries are. I've actually had this out already, so to get to sort of the engine, you just do these 4 bolts here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, take the batteries out, and then this lifts out. And the reason for that is there is an alarm on this, but the bike, when I bought it, didn't actually come with the alarm, and I just wanted to install that. So I ended up buying one for only £25, and then basically put the new alarm in, which just is a plug and play, and now I've got my alarm. Which, to be honest with you, it wasn't a waste of time, but it's not like a motion sensor alarm, or a, if you knock it, it sets it off. It's not like that. It's it's if you turn the bike on while it's locked, the alarm will go off. If the electrics come on, so it's not a great alarm, but it's nice to have. And then steering lock as well. So if you turn the bars all the way to the left, push the key in, that's your steering lock, which I do put on. Obviously I've seen thieves, particularly in London, and they just snap them and then they get on with it. But anyway, that's another feature. So then in the middle here we've got this hanger, nice and simple, and then a little storage compartment here. Here is my quad lock that I've just got installed, but I bought this separately from the case. So I've got the case on the way, hopefully that'll be here today. Then you've got your high beam and dipped beam. So obviously with the lights on, there's a high beam and there's a dip beam. Indicators as well, so there is indicators on this bike. Obviously, LED indicators, left and then on the back as well. Which if you have to get down a little bit to see, but yeah, I mean they're good, not bad. Left and right. And then the push to cancel as well. So push that, and then horn. So let's go for a little ride on it. I think that's everything covered. So basically, the reason that this channel came about is I was after a Super Soco CUX because I work from home, so I've got a van, like I say, but the tax on that van is around £30 a month, and then the insurance is around £50 a month, and then fuel, especially at the minute, was costing me like £95 per month. So I was paying, well over £150 to keep the van on the drive, pretty much. And then I decided, well, why not just get... I've always wanted a bike, always. And I was looking into, doing my full test and doing, getting a serious bike. But that was obviously a lot of money, and it's all new to me, so I thought, would I actually be able to pass my test? I like to think that I would be able to, but you never know. And I thought, I don't want to spend all that money and not really get anywhere. Plus the fact that actual bikes as well, like serious ones, are a lot more expensive. And then I just thought, well, why not just get a little moped? And then the idea of it was like, well, yeah, that makes sense to me, just to nip around. And then all of this stuff kicked off in the world, and cost of fuel was going up. And I thought, well, why not get an electric moped? So then that's when I started looking at the CUX so the Super Soco CUX, which are about a 50cc, and then about a 30-mile range, I think. And I was interested, and I started looking into them, and I thought, yeah, they'll do. I'm not going too far. I don't need to go too fast. Why not? I'll go for them. And then basically nothing came of it, and I couldn't really find one, and there was it just didn't work out. So then this one came up, and I've never really heard of I've heard of Lexmoto before, but I hadn't heard of this bike. So I knew nothing about it, and I started looking on YouTube, and there is a lot more videos on the Super Soco CUX than there was on this. No one really posts videos about this bike, so it's quite hard for me to actually find much information about it. And then I decided, do you know what, if I get one, then I'm going to make a channel, because I'm probably not the only person in England who's got one of these bikes, so why not make a channel for others who either have one of these bikes or is looking at getting one, and then hopefully I can just provide a little bit of information. I mean, I don't really know much about bikes, to be honest with you. So yeah, if you want to find out more information about the bike specifically, then you have to look online or whatever. But I just thought it'd be good just to have a channel of, you know, just seeing point of view, just getting around on it, zipping around and just enjoying it. So that's sort of the idea behind the channel. And I went down to Castleford, which is about 2.5-3 hours away from me, and it was like a Wednesday night. But basically this bike had only just been put up, and I thought that's a really good price, because this is basically about what I was going to be paying for a CUX. So I was happy to pay around 500 for quite a cheap CUX. Then I saw this one, which is, they say double the range because it's got 2 batteries. You can see the battery percentages there. It's got 2 batteries as opposed to 1. So I thought, well, that'll be faster and the range would be more. So that's when I started looking at these, and then I found this one. And I went down to Castleford on a Wednesday evening because it had been up on Auto Trader for a few hours. And basically I saw it and I messaged the guy and I said, you know, what's going on with that bike there? And he said, oh yeah, it's been up. I said, how long's the advert been up? Because I think that's always obviously a telltale sign. If an advert's been up for 5 months and no one's bought it, then it's obviously a shit box. So I said, how long's the advert been up for? He said, oh, it's been up for a couple of hours. And then I said, you know, he would say that, he's trying to get a sale, whatever. But then I went on to ChatGPT, and then I put the website address into ChatGPT and said, how long has this advert been up? And it said, oh, it's been up for a couple of hours. So I was like, all right, fair enough, he's telling the truth. And then I went down and I bought it. And I put it back in the back of my van on like a Wednesday night, came back and loved it. And then basically I had to do my CBT, and I'd never really ridden a bike before. Well, I hadn't ridden a bike before. So when I went to view it, he said, have you ridden the bike before? I said no, and he was like, oh, alright. But I just nipped it round the block. Now there it is. I don't know if I should admit that really legally. Okay, so I nipped it round the block on his private land, and I thought, yeah, this is easy enough to ride. Let's get it. So bought it, and then was basically trying to get a feel for it as legally as I could before doing my CBT, because I really wanted to pass my CBT. Never done one before. I had no idea what it entailed. I thought, imagine if I did. Everyone says, oh, they're so easy, you'll fly through it. And I was like, okay, cheers. Everyone says that. Imagine if I didn't. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I went down on Sunday, did my CBT, and it was easy. So those who are watching and think, oh, I've got to do my CBT, it really was quite easy. So you basically just go into you sit there while you go through some information, like standard stuff, bit of highway code stuff. They ask you sort of questions, but they don't necessarily expect you to get it right. They're just sort of asking to see if you know. And then after that, it's more, they talk about sort of motorbike gear and those types of things. And then you go into a car park and you sort of do, you know, some figure of eights, some U-turns and that kind of stuff. Very, very simple, straightforward. And then you go out on a road ride. I mean, to be fair, for me, I think it was easier because I'm 30 and I've been driving for since I was 17. So obviously understanding the highway code and whatnot is obviously helpful for that. But I think even if you don't, you know, you haven't been driving, you know, they are quite easy to pass. So yeah, that's the story behind the channel and sort of, you know, what I'm thinking with it. I mean, I'm gonna just do there's gonna be some videos like range tests, then I'm gonna do some just out and about, just riding around. I mean, it's a bit weird because some of the videos I like to watch on YouTube are people who are on, you know, MT-09s or R1s and stuff, and they do POV rides and they don't really talk because, you know, the engine does the talking there, and it's they're really enjoyable to watch because the like I say, you can hear the bike and it's great. Whereas this, it doesn't make any noise, obviously, so I'm just talking. Hopefully some people enjoy it. Right, let's do a max speed test. We're in mode 3 now. We're at 78% battery in one and 77 on the other. They do drain at the same time, so evenly, even though one is slightly higher than the other. But let's see how we get on. This is mode 3. I'm gonna give it the all. Getting down F and getting really speedy with it. That's not a fence, is it? No, I don't think so. So we're at 40. I've had about 45 out of it. On the right roads, a little bit downhill, I suppose. But I have done about 45 on it. But we can't get more than sort of 42 there. But like I say, some roads you will get about 45. We'll go down to mode 2 now and see if that makes any difference. When I did this last time, the bike for me, even in mode 2, still feels as zippy, but it limits the top speed, and it's the same with mode 1. I don't really know sort of the energy saving, how they're saving energy. Yeah, that's it. See, that's absolutely limited there now at 37. And then if we go down to mode 1 and see where that's limited at, and basically I've noticed that the bike, when you're taking off and you're zipping around town and stuff, it feels the exact same, but the top speed is limited. See, so in mode 1 we're limited at like 30 mile an hour. So that obviously just stops you draining your battery when you just flat out sort of maxing it. Now, I to be honest, I don't think I've been out of mode 3 since I've been on it, which is sort of what it's for, you know what I mean? I come home and I put it on charge and just enjoy it. This is exactly what I want, I bought the bike for and what I want to be doing on it. So yeah, I'm probably going to be in mode 3 majority of the time, unless I plan on going for quite a big ride. And if I go for a big ride and it's sort of a quiet road, I'll put it in one of the lower modes. Because the thing is as well, with those CUX, I was sort of half concerned that the power was too low. So like when I went and did my CBT, I was on a 50cc scooter, and I think I'm about 100 kilograms, and it would hardly move. The weather was horrible when I did my CBT. Don't get me wrong, it really was. It was really windy, and yeah, the bike, I honestly, it was hardly moving. So I was worried that, I was just thinking, wow, 50cc is sort of like dangerously slow. So I was worried having a bike that would only do, sort of 28 mile an hour, because even though I am just zipping around town and stuff, there is a lot of roads where you do need a bit more than 30. And I just, it just makes you feel less comfortable when you know that you've not got the power required just to zip around a bit, just to sort of keep up with traffic, and just, I'm not saying absolutely flying, but just keeping up with traffic and not having people behind you and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, and I ended up with this one, because this one's closer to, I don't think it's quite a it's equivalent to a 125 apparently, but I don't know if it is. I mean, I've never ridden a 125, so I suppose I can't say, but I think the top speed maxing out at like 40, 45. Don't 125s do more than that? Do you know what I mean? I think it's closer to, some people say online it's closer to like a sort of 90 to 100 cc, which to me would make quite a lot of sense, it being a bit less. But I mean, it's plenty for me, and this honestly, this for me, this is just happiness for me, just zipping around on this bike, just feeling so free. I mean, like I say, I only went round the block on it when I was going to buy it, and it was in an area like this, and I just went round the block. Wow, the gear coming off the back of his bike, man. Wow, I had my visor up as well. But yeah, I'd never experienced the freeness of a motorbike, and honestly, it's I mean, those who got a bike, obviously you understand. It's unbelievable how it makes you feel. I mean, I'm sort of into my cars and my bikes and stuff anyway, but I think even people who aren't, I'm sure that they would say that it is fun. Do you know, even if they're not that into it, you can't deny that this is just, it's so much fun just sitting around, feeling like the wind and stuff. There's my man there with a guitar. What is going on? But yeah, just flying through like this. Do you know what I've noticed? A few people since I've been out on it, a load of people telling me to rev it. You know, like kids and that, when you're driving past and they're going like all this, and I'm like, oh mate. And I don't want to sit there going, oh, it's actually like screaming and that, because I went to pull my visor up the other day to tell some kids, but I was driving past them, and by the time I pulled my visor up, they'd already gone. And I was looking over my shoulder, and I was like, well, just concentrate on the road and that, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. The range, one thing that's sort of surprising, I suppose. I mean, I don't know because I've never experienced anything like this before, but it gets through the batteries. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're in mode 3 all the time and blasting it. Like I say, I'm going to do a full range test so we can see it specifically. But for me, it just feels like I do get through the batteries. Like they are gonna wear out if you're just flying through them. But I bought it for that. I bought it to enjoy it. When I was looking at buying one, I asked ChatGPT, because that knows everything. I asked ChatGPT how much it would cost to fill up, and they said give me your sort of the meter that I was on, rates and all that. So give me all that, and I'll tell you specifically how much. And I was like, all right. So I did all that. And it said it costs £1.30 for a full charge. And like I say, I've not really just done a full range test yet, but what I do know is I'm getting over 30 miles easy. So £1.30, 30 miles of just pure fun. It's I'm really happy to pay that. So I've basically just been charging it every night. And one thing I've noticed as well is that it does take a while to charge. You know, you're looking at I think the first time I put it on charge, the battery was really low, but it was easy, 6 hours. And I think it's because I was being impatient as well, because I really wanted to go out on it. It felt like it took more than that. But one day I'll do a test where I drain it all the way. I'll tell you what, after I do the range test, there's a speed camera down here somewhere. I've not been through it. Oh, I know. After I've done the range test, I'll do a full battery charging. There it is. Full battery charging test, and see how long it takes to charge. But yeah, I mean, what I'm doing currently is I'm just putting it in charge overnight and just leaving it. And then when I get up in the morning, it's fully charged, because the charger comes, it's a proper monster of a charger, and it's got a built-in fan as well, just to keep it cool. So I'm not really too concerned. I mean, it's a Chinese bike, so obviously the charger's Chinese and stuff, but I'm not, as it stands, I'm not too concerned about it burning my house down just yet. So yeah, and what you can do as well, I mean, I've never done this, but you can take one battery out. So while you're charging the other one, you can take one out, and then instead of, the only way that affects the bike is it doesn't half the power, but it does half the range. So that's obviously the best way round to do it, because you still want to have the full power. So it's not like it halves the power and the range, or it's not like it halves the power so then you get a normal range out of it. I'd prefer to have the same range. Sorry, I'd prefer to have less range and the same power, which is exactly what it does. So it's really, really clever design. And yeah, I've been really, really enjoying it, zipping around. It's so much fun. It really is. The only thing is, the roads around here, the roads are terrible, and it's not. I think it's quite comfortable, and it's much better than the one that I did my CBT on. Oh, that was terrible. It was limited at 27, I was too fat for it, I think, as well, which didn't help. Because obviously, because I'm too heavy for it, let's say heavy instead, because I'm too heavy for it and I'm big, not only was it weighing the bike down, but it was also, I was like a big kite. So like and it was a windy day, so I wasn't travelling very far on it, but you know, that helped me concentrate on other things when I was trying to get through my CBT, so I'm not complaining. But it was a cold, rainy day, and it was windy, and yeah, we just wanted to, there was only 2 of us on the CBT, and we just wanted to get it over and done with. But obviously there's like a legal requirement for the driving school, the riding school, to do a minimum amount of hours and whatnot, so we still had to do the full thing. And yeah, it wasn't no nice, but it's done now. And I mean, it's only for 2 years, which is a bit of a shame, but what I'm hoping is in 2 years time I'll have a full bike, you know, I'll have my full license and stuff, because if nothing, I mean, I can see me keeping this for a long time, to be honest with you. Just because even if, you know, some of the videos I saw on the CPX, the CUX, that's the 3rd time I got that wrong. Some of the videos I saw on the CUX, people were saying about how it's, even those who've got other modes of transport, i.e. bigger bikes, they still just jump on that just to zip around, you know, just nip into the shop and stuff. So yeah, I can see myself keeping this for a long time, even when I get my full bike license and a bigger bike. But the only thing, I mean, the best thing about that is I get to take off the L plates, which is obviously something I have to have on right now, which is just terrible. It really makes me sad. I've been driving for 30 years. 30 years. I've been driving since I was 17, I'm now 30. And I'm riding around with L plates on. But I've been on my bike for less than a week, so I get it. I do get it. But it's good times, and the best thing about it is we're just about to get into some good weather, hopefully. Well, as good as it can be for England. So it's a really good time to get it, because I can imagine with all the stuff going on in the price of fuel, the value of these bikes is surely only going to go up with the weather and all the madness. So really feeling lucky to get it quite cheap. I mean, I'm saying all this now, I've only had it for about a week, so I've got no idea how reliable it is and what's gonna happen. But I mean, I've heard Lexmotos, they've been around, but obviously some people say some terrible things about them, about how they blow up and that, so it'd be interesting to see if that happens. Well, not interesting. Well, sort of half interesting, but mainly terrible. I was in the wrong lane then. I'm going to go right here, because this is one thing as well, is I do try and avoid, even though, like I said earlier, it is quite, it's fast enough to do sort of 45, which is sort of adequate for a lot of roads. I do try and avoid the faster roads on it, mainly because I have more fun on the smaller, twisty roads, obviously, but another reason is because it batters the battery when you're flat out. It batters the battery really quickly, so I'd rather go a little bit slower and you save the battery a bit and enjoy the roads more. But yeah, it's not a bad day. A little bit cold, and one thing I've noticed as well is, even if it feels warm, obviously if you get going on a bike you get cold quick. That's pretty obvious, you can go around them, is it not? I mean, what I'm not trying to do, wow, this man is a maniac. What I'm not trying to do is ride it sort of too unsafely, because I have overtaken a couple of cars, but that's only if they're going really, really slow, because what you'll find is you're giving it full throttle, like I say, you get to like sort of 40-ish and it really runs out of zoom, so then if you're trying to overtake someone who's going a little bit faster anyway, it's not ideal. So I'm only really, I'm very, very careful where I overtake people on it. As it stands, which, well, that'll stay the case, same. And then, yeah, just zipping around, cloudy day. It's good. Really enjoyed it. I mean, if anyone's got any specific questions that they need to know about this bike, then let me know. I'm happy to do videos for the answers, because it's pretty straightforward. It's rev and go. It's electric, so there's no sort of moving parts. But it is a Chinese bike. I'm not saying Chinese makes highly unreliable gear, because they don't. But I think sometimes Chinese electrics, you instantly think about cheap Chinese electrics, don't you? So I can only go on my experience on this bike, which for me so far has been great. But I've only owned it for a couple of days, like I say, so take it with a pinch of salt. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed as well is a lot of people look, and I don't think it's because it's like, wow, that is the coolest thing ever. It's probably more because I think it's just a little bit bizarre if I go sort of whizzing past them and it's just like an electric noise. It's not something you see every day, and it's like a bright white scooter, so I get it. But yeah, it really is. It's like a proper head turner, which is just funny. And I'm just there like, you're right. It's just I mean, it's absolutely ideal for me. I've just throw things in my backpack, go to shop, and whatever. I did actually buy a pretty hefty lock and chain for it, because my insurance on it, like say I'm 30, I've got at least 12 years no claims on my car, but my insurance is around 35, I think it's about £36 a month, but I chose to do a higher excess, so I could pay less a month. And it means that if this gets stolen, I pay a £300 excess, and then there's a £200 voluntary excess as well on top of that. So I'd be paying £500 out, and the bike is only worth paying £500. It's only worth £500. That's how much I paid for it. So if if it gets stolen, and then I pay my £500 out, yeah, insurance might cover the cost of the actual bike being stolen, but I have to pay what the bike cost me, so I break even. So insurance cover it, but then I have no bike, so it don't cost me anything, but I then have no bike. So I thought, right, I'm just gonna invest into a bit of a half decent lock, and it's a hip lock, and I was looking on I think it's a DX1000, or there's one that's angle grinder resistant, and it's serious, but it was half the cost of the bike, and it was £250 for just the lock, and I thought, that's quite a lot in it. So I decided to get and then the other reason with that one is I didn't want, because that's just a D-lock, and I didn't want just a D-lock, because if I get just a D-lock, that's not stopping people parking up and throwing it in a van. And it is to be fair, it's got a bit of weight to it. It's not like the CUX. I got it right that time. It's not like the CUX. It's nowhere near as light as that, but it has got 2 batteries, and it's a bit more of a bigger, substantial bike. But even though it has got a bit of weight to it, it's not stopping anyone throwing it in a van. So I wanted a chain as well as the hip lock, as well as the D-lock. So I decided to there was a sort of a combination of the two on Amazon, and it was only £110, reduced from 160, whatever it is. So I decided to invest in that, and I do actually use the chain. So I mean, it's really, really heavy, so it's not ideal for a day in, day out. But I also thought, well, I want one that's nice and easy to throw in a bag. But if you're going to get one that's easy to throw in a bag, there's a chance that it's just not worth anything, you know. So I decided to get a bit of a heavier one, which is a bit annoying to carry around, but it's actually worth putting on the bike, if you know what I mean. So I've only really had that on when I've been going to gym, just because I've been there for, you know, over an hour or whatever. Whereas when I'm just running into Asda and stuff, or just any old shop, I'm not affiliated with Asda, it's fine just to put the D-lock on. Or if I'm going into a place where I can just see the bike, I'll just put the steering lock on and put the alarm on. Like I say, it's not really going to... If someone wants it, they're going to have it, aren't they, at the end of the day? So you just got to hope that there's not too many scumbags out there. And then, yeah, this is... so I'm now on 54%. I don't know what I was on when I first started getting out, but like I say, this isn't really a range test. This was just more of an introductory video to the channel and the bike, because I haven't really seen many videos of this bike on YouTube. So if anyone is interested in buying one, hopefully this... I mean, I don't think I gave any valuable information about it, to be honest with you. I've mainly just been riding around, but I suppose I've talked about it a bit, and it'll give you an understanding as to what it kind of is like to ride around. But there will be some more informative videos coming up, but then, like I say, there'll just be videos where I just ride around and just enjoy it, especially when the weather gets a bit nicer. That's going to be so much better than what it's like currently. I mean, I've got a big old jacket on here because the wind is... It's not even particularly windy, but it's when you get going, it's windy enough to make you cold. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you've got any requests or anything about this bike, or any ideas on videos you'd like to see, then just let me know in the comments. I'll leave this video here for now, and I'll see you in the next one.